Hi, my name is Chris. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Kado Security. Today, I'm going to talk about cloud detection response and also some of the cool stuff that we're up to at Kado. So what actually is cloud detection response, or CDR? At a very high level, it's a combined solution that includes monitoring, detection, and incident response in the cloud. I'm going to talk about all three today, but particularly heavily on the incident response side. So whenever someone introduces a new acronym, three-letter word like CDR, there's some pretty wide discussion about whether or not this is really needed. There's some great discussion by Anton over Google Cloud about whether or not things in the cloud are really that different to on-prem. And particularly, he goes through how we at Kado and some other vendors are responding in the cloud and how that does work a little bit differently to traditional legacy solutions. There's the somewhat clickbaity title from Forrester about whether or not cloud detection response tools actually exist. I think their main point when you go through that article is that really this is a combined capability. There may be numerous different components there, and it really does enhance your security posture. I think I'd agree with that. Then some people might term this as something a bit wider, like application detection response, or Gartner will call the kind of wider set of capabilities here, cloud incident response automation. And if you've seen other stuff that we've posted at Kado, you see that that's something that we definitely have a view on there. So why you might want to do cloud detection response? Well, obviously, the overall aim here is improve your security posture, particularly in the cloud. And the kind of things you get there are faster response times, and very importantly, reducing the alert fatigue. So if you use a tool like GuardDuty, you'll be used to a fairly high amount of false positives. And then going through and working out which ones are actually important is just really, really key. And then finally, we are all facing an increasingly complex regulatory environment. So there are things like PCI, HIPAA, DORA, all those kind of things do have something to say about the speed of your response times. Everything always comes down to numbers. So if you're running a SOC or you're the head of security operations, you're very, very familiar with terms like the mean time to detect, so how long before you can detect a threat, and the mean time to respond, so the mean time to respond to an incident, potentially resolution there as well. But something that's kind of interesting when we talk to our customers is how important is the quality of response as well. So for one thing, we have lots of false positives. You're wasting time that your analysts could be using, investigating the real ones more in depth. Then also, kind of on the other side, if you look at some of the more serious incidents, they often start with a large number of incidents or detections that are incorrectly tagged as false positives, partly because there's enough time to look into every alert properly. And as an incident response person, I've seen that many, many times. It's really, really key to kind of focus on having the time to investigate things properly. So this is what we're up to at Kado and how we fit into cloud detection response. It's very easy to enable detections these days. So something like GuardDuty, go flick a switch. We integrate with a number of different detection technologies. And then what happens there is that you get a detection. You might not know the full context, though. You might need to jump at your SIEM and get some data, but not everything you need. Whereas with our platform, we collect a full forensic copy of that system, so all the data you need, store that permanently, so you can go back and review it later, particularly if that system has been destroyed. And then you can then investigate it in our platform as well. So we'll go through, we'll pass all the details out and give you way more context, at the same time filter that down to the kind of key timeline events you really care about. Because again, we're trying to reduce alert fatigue here, not increase it. And then you can also respond to, so maybe isolate a role, something like that too. So we integrate with a number of different detection technologies, more coming soon as well. We also collect directly from a number as well. And then our customers have also been using our API to build direct connections themselves into their detection tech to then get us to go and grab that data. So we get a full copy of all that data you need to investigate it, do all that processing, automate investigation, let you dive in a bit deeper. Then just as importantly is what you do with that data. So maybe you're sending all that extra context around the detection from Kado into your SIEM, such as Splunk. Maybe it's going to a ticketing system, such as ServiceNow, or maybe it's going to a messaging app like Slack or Teams and telling your team, right, we had this detection, but here's what else we know about as well. All the processing's finished. Here's the pristine copy of that data. And at that point, you can then go and really, really investigate or resolve it as quickly as possible. So I won't go into a full work example in the interest of time, but at a high level, let's say you start with a GuardDuty detection. Your analyst might review that. And at that point, if it is something serious, then going and getting the full data for that system, finding out what happened, can really take quite a long time. With Kado, we can automate all that kind of like middle step there, and also export that into all the other connections you might have. Importantly, storing for chain and custody all the pristine copy of that data, also sending it into your SIEM, your messaging, your ticketing apps as well. And all this is built on top of a repeatable investigation process. So we can take in things and all the existing kind of cloud resources you expect, also SaaS logs, and then also traditional forensic capture. And increasingly, we're seeing this very popular. We also collect from XDR agents like CrowdStrike, SentinelOne, Defender, etc. Process all that data, then ship that off to where you need it so you can investigate it properly. If any of that sounds interesting to you, please do reach out. There's a link in the comments. And also, you can go on our website, cadosecurity.com.